So today I'm going to go through my top 8 Pokemon singles I think you guys should look at under $50. So the Pokemon market has seen such a big correction over the last few months due to the 30th anniversary coming out, and we've had a few lackluster sets coming out. For example, Chaos Rising, Perfect Order. All these sets again have not killed the market, but they've certainly slowed down the market. And I think this was done intentionally to build up more hype for the 30th anniversary due in September and Delta Rain we've got due in November time. So because of this, there's a lot of SIRs that have been looked over. Again, SIRs have performed so well over the last few years. Few examples, we've got the Gengar, which has gone up from $50 all the way up from 124. This was a Sword and Shield promo, but again, it's gone up 150%. And the Greninja Gold Star, which again, the year period from the lows at 13 has gone up to 27, so 110% pump. So I'm going to go through the singles that I think will also be seeing drastic increases over the next few years. So if it sounds good to you, subscribe below, guys. Let's get straight into it. So my first pick is Ampharos from Chaos Rising. So again, I'm looking at singles that have decreased in price substantially. Chaos Rising, again, you had some insane cards like the Greninja, for example. But again, because the set was sort of overall lacking multiple chase cards, people tend to overlook the singles. So there's a few in the sets I'm going to talk about, and Ampharos is my number 8 pick. So again, it's gone down from 99 down to $7.55. That's nearly a 9x decrease. So again, it's in a fantastic period for those discounts for us. So again, you know, the PSA 10 population is steady. We've seen again slight declines in price, but again, we are starting to see that sort of slow sort of come down. But I think long term this is a no-brainer. It's a Gen 2 favourite. Again, you've got Mareep as the base, and then you've got Ampharos as the top dog. And again, it's a beautiful card. Love the yellows. You've got the glow from the sun in the corner. Yeah, and I think this would be one, again, especially at this price, that will do very well long term. So again, Ampharos, you're seeing again really strong sort of purchases over the last few months. Again, we've seen dips. Again, it's quite a new set. It came out in May, so we might see reprints. This might squeeze down to $5. But I'm actively buying a couple at the moment. But again, you know, we've had 600 sell in the last 6 days, 527 before that, 602. So people are interested. It's dipped nearly 900%. This is one to keep an eye on, guys. So my next pick is Taurus, again from Chaos Rising. So Chaos Rising bought us so many good illustration rares, special illustration rares, and I'm just going to go through again the ones I think are the most undervalued. So Taurus, a Gen 1, nostalgic, and again it's seen a massive decrease from 60 all the way down to $3.43. So again, it's nearly, what, 15 times lower than it was on release. And again, Chaos may see some more reprints, so it might squeeze down lower to the $3 region. But I think at these prices, you can't go wrong. You know, the sword and shield era, the Scarlet and Violet era, Mega Evolution has treated us to so many illustration rares, and I think these are eras that in the future we'll look back on and we'll think how blessed we were with such good sort of artwork. So again, stunning artwork. You've got the that sort of pose ready to attack. You've got the, you know, the tail in the background ready to sort of lash. It's in that sort of fighting stance, and again, it's a fantastic card, and the discounts it's seen is phenomenal. Again, you know, you wait for that sort of base decline, and then you sort of look for that uptick, or at least that sort of base for a long period of time before you start looking to get involved. And again, you know, people are starting to notice this. We're seeing 47 sold last week, 45 the week before that, 62 the week before that, 71 before that. But again, you know, you could find this cheap at card shows, Facebook Marketplace. But I think this may still drop to about the $3 region, but it is definitely one to pick up. Okay, moving on. So my next pick is Bulbasaur, but the Mega Evolution stamped version. So again, you get this card specifically from the Mega Enhanced booster box. So this is not a card you get in the set. You do get a similar card, but it's not the stamp version. And I'm focusing purely on the stamp version. Again, such a good discount of $17, and look at it, it's a beautiful card. And the price action as well, we've seen dips from $48 all the way down to 16. So it's already dumped 150%. It's such a good buy, guys. Insane good buy. And again, you've got the PSA 10 as well down here. So again, the lows at 348 up to 796. We did dip more, sorry, down to near enough the just glitching, sorry, to 677, and it's now uptick to 733, so it's 10% off the lows. But I think long term, absolute no brainer. In the Mega Evolution set as well, you have got Ivysaur and Venusaur to pay attention to. So again, it's brilliant. And look at the volume; it's insane. We've seen that big cascade from 48 down to 1830, around the 1750 if you're on eBay TCG player. But again, we had that spike from the lows at 1270 up to 27, so went up 140%. And again, we've come down a little bit to 1830. But again, that's a good sign. So you're not buying the highs, you're not buying the lows, you're buying that sort of medium sort of price. And again, I don't think they're going to print this much, if at all. I think this is such a good set in regards to Gen 1 nostalgia. The artwork's beautiful. You've got that sort of flowery sort of cluster in the background, which entices Bulbasaur in the environment perfectly. Yeah, and I think it's an absolute purchase. So again, another one to pay attention to. Okay, moving on. So my next purchase, I'm looking at Articuno from Journey Together. So if you've been following me for a while, you know this card. I've talked about numerous times and for good reason. So Journey Together was another set very overlooked. Again, it had some very lackluster cards in it. Top chase card being Clefairy. Beautiful cards, but it's not enough to give it that sort of even mid-tier to top tier, sort of Scarlet and Violet set. But again, because of that, people were missing some beautiful cards in the set. So one of them being the Articuno. So again, we had dips from the low at 1455. We pumped 27 and we've come back down to 20. So off the highs, we're down about 30%. So again, I think it's a fantastic entry point. Articuno Gen 1, you've got that frosty environment. The silver border encapsulates that sort of that wintry feeling super well. Again, look at the PSA 10s. The PSA 10s help us to sort of gain the understanding of people who are interested in the cards and the sort of getting it graded, keeping it. Again, if the PSA 10s are tanking along with the sort of price of the raw, it's not a good sign. You want to see the PSA 10s holding up. And again, we're seeing that. Again, when we dumped from 28 to 20, again, 30% drop. The PSA 10 went from 309 to 280, so went down less than 10%. So again, it's holding up brilliantly. PSA 10s went from 142 up to 300, so 150% pump. But again, overall, people are buying it. It's a beautiful card. And again, if you look at the TCG player, so with the TCG player as well here, so a bit of a glitch there. Again, people buying this up. We've had some fantastic sort of art purchases and demand and volume over the last few weeks. So 121 sold last week, 113 the week before that, 151 the week before that, and before that 181. So in a month period, we've had over 600 sell. And again, it's not a brand new set. Age is getting behind it. But again, this is one I'm definitely loading up on. Okay, moving on. Okay, so my next pick is none other than Wailord. So again, still touching on Journey Together. Again, there's a few SRs which just look insane. So Wailord, again, I think fan favourite from Realm as the as the Stage 1 evolution compared to Wailord. But look at the artwork, guys. Again, you've got Wailord in its entire form, poking up to get some air from above. The ship's waiting there, probably freaking out, seeing this colossal giant poke above. And again, like the ship, sort of with the freaking out, I'm freaking out how good these prices are. Again, we dipped from the highs at 20 down to just under 10, pumped to 1958 down to 15. So again, 30% drop. So we're seeing a theme over my choices over the consistency. We're getting in not at the lows. We're waiting for that sort of peak, that consolidation. Then we're getting involved. PSA 10s went from 101 up to 215 and we're coming down a bit. But again, not as hard as the raw. It's a good sign when the PSA 10s are holding ground. TCG player, again, we can start to see the demands kicking in. Again, the raw down from 955 to 1985, down to 15. But again, we're seeing over 100 sales a week. This is a very popular card. Again, long term in a binder or collection, this is going to stick out like a sore thumb. So again, big fan of Warlords. Yeah, again, journey together. The illustration rares that tend to do better are the ones that, generally speaking, are in bad sets. So again, you've got sets like Chaos Order, Chaos Rising, Perfect Order, Pitch Black. You know, the sets aren't seen as good sets overall, but again, because of that, people overlook the general consensus of the set. So again, we're doing our research. We're getting these sort of cards for the long term. These aren't quick flips. These are long term holds. Okay. All right. So moving on. Right, so good one here. So Ethan's Typhlosion. So we're touching base on sort of slightly sort of better sets. So Destined Rivals. So Destined Rivals has had the I'd say bad luck, but again it gives us good opportunities of the reprints recently. But again, this is why we're starting to see that sort of cascade of some of the prices. But again, for the amount of reprints we've had, this hasn't dropped much at all. In the year periods, we've gone from $39 to 21 to 36 down to 26. So again, we've dropped about 30%. But this is such a good card, guys. Again, you've got Ether, Typhlosion, obviously in a mid battle with someone on the other side. It'll be cool to see in future sets they release like the other sort of side, like the Charizard v Mewtwo, when you sort of see the flip around in the Sword and Shield era. That would be insane. Like if there was like a Meganium on the other side or something, it would be amazing. Sort of two Gen 2s at it would be brilliant. But again, the PSA 10s, you know, we've held from the lows of 166 up to 365. We've dipped to 303 and it's pumped 10%, 8%, sorry, but the raw hasn't. So the PSA 10 is strong, which again is going to carry the set, this card up. In terms of singles buy-in, again, people are locking in. You know, consistent sales near 100 every single week. We've seen a dip from 37 down to 26. So again, massive fan of Ethan's Typhlosion. This deserves to be in everyone's sort of collection and binder. Long term, absolute no-brainer. Moving on. So Goldeen, another Gen 1 nostalgic Pokemon. Such a good card. Look at this artwork, guys. We've got 4 Goldeens in here. Again, looking up at the sky, is there like a rod that's popped in? You can paint so many pictures in this, and I love it. Again, raw price. You know, it's a pitch black. So again, one of those sets that are leading into the 30th anniversary, and it's a set not many people liked, so they overlook the singles. We're looking at this now. So again, we dipped from 35 down to 947. We've not seen reprints yet, so again, be warned, this may dip more. If we start dipping below 7.6, I'm going to try and get a good 4 or 5 of these in my collection, because I think long term it's a no-brainer. It's Gen 1, people like Goldeen. You've got you know, so much in the Pokemon series. If you watch the animation, Goldeen is featured loads again with Misty. So yeah, big fan. I think this will do very well long term. And again with purchases, again it's still a brand new set. We're seeing, you know, the data's too early to say anything concrete, but again, 26 sold last week, 64 the week before that. Again, this isn't one to get in, I'd say right now. I'd wait a bit more of a flattening sort of line, and potential reprint news. So again, just pay attention to that. But again, I thought it's one to bring your attention. All right, so moving on. Next one. Okay, so moving back to the Sword and Shield era. The Scarlet and Violet era, so Paradox Rift. So again, Porygon Z. So this is one of my favourite cards as an illustration there. It's just so cheap at the moment. Again, I came across this accidentally. A friend of mine showed me their binder and I just saw it in there. And it's one I've seen before, but again, I like this card. You've got like a Porygon sort of hat in the background. You've got the gaming setup, which is awesome, and we can all relate to that. But again, price action, again, it's not dipped, but it's one that I think is super cheap for what it'll be in the future. So again, we've gone from 688 up to 1534 in a year period. There's been no dips. It's just a consistent rise. So yeah, again, it is over 100% rise at the moment, but I do think in the next couple of years this will be a $30-$40 card, because again, Paradox Rift, super unlikely we'll get a reprint, so just something to bear in mind. And again, sales on TCG Player, it's just going up, guys. But again, it's had 20 sales, 30 sales, 22. So again, it's good because the attention isn't on Paradox Rift, but again, it's still seeing that consistent growth. So big fan, and again, long term, I'm seeing us hit 30, 40 in the next couple of years. Moving on. So my final pick, guys, is Cobalion from Black Bolt. So Black Bolt has got a plethora of amazing cards in there. It's illustration rare city. If you want me to do like a deep dive into Black Bolt and White Flame, happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments, and let me know in the comments any sort of singles you guys are picking up. But yeah, Cobalion, again, we had that accumulation range for good 8 months, and then we saw that impulse up from the 20 to 33, and we're just seeing that sort of hold at the moment. So again, I think it's setting up for that next sort of leg up. It's one of the most expensive in my list at $32, but again, I do think this will end up being 50, 60, because Black Bolt simply was not reprinted, and as time goes on, the chance of it getting a reprint is super unlikely. So again, we have that flat accumulation range, and that's what we look for, and then the break up, but we're looking to buy down the dip. So anything below $30, in my opinion, will be a steal. So I'm not buying just yet, but $30 is what I'm sort of looking for. Okay, cool. So yeah, so that ties up my sort of overall sort of 8 singles I think will be insane pickups now, ready for the future. Again, a couple have said just wait a bit longer and have a 5-10% dip, just because we might get reprints coming, guys. But again, if you like these sort of videos, do let me know in the comments. Again, please subscribe, it does help the channel out a ton. I do try and get these sort of videos out daily to try and help you guys out. But yeah, any thoughts in the comments, any questions, please let me know, because I'll do a video to answer your questions as well, guys. But yeah, I hope you like my picks. Do let me know in the comments your thoughts, any singles you're picking up, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Over and out.